So welcome back again, or if you're new to this channel. As many of you know, I don't upload on here a big lot, but when I do, it's done because there's a reason behind it. There's an intention as to why I'm sharing, and today is no different. And I've just recently got back from Bali, doing freediving in Gili T, and we're just reminded so much when we're under the water, right under the surface, there is this effortless sense of ease. Everything just works. There's no push, there's no striving, there's no perfection, there's no people pleasing. The creatures under the water don't wish they were any different. They don't judge the next fish that swims past for their size or colour or whatever noises they make. They just be, and it all works, and it's in flow. And I'm reminded every time I come to the surface that in the world we're in, particularly the Western world, we have this thing called control and effort and expectations. And that then starts to direct how we move through our life based on the should've, could'ves, and would'ves from other human beings. We live in a world, and also with our social media, where we think we're expected to look or be or act a certain way in society, when in essence, we're the only ones who can create that story. And your body will tell you, right, when we shift into resistance. And this is what this practice is about today, is about recognizing resistance. When we're in flow, the body is open, the heart is open, we access our prefrontal cortex, and we can be curious, not critical, about the things unfolding. We can see things differently. We can have a broader view and understand we have a choice, and it comes from the body being open. Yet, when we look at the majority of human beings in the world we're in today, we're on our devices, our shoulders are rolling in, we are closed. We hold tension, the body is not moving so much. We feel bloated and stuck and rigid, and that then plays a huge role in the state of our mind. If we are holding our phones a lot of the time, our devices, our head is down, which means we can't access our prefrontal cortex, which means we can't see. And if we can't see, that means we can't make a choice. So therefore we fall back into the societal expectations of how we think we should be. Coming back to a flow state and tuning into the things we're resisting, as in our body is saying no to, is on us. And you need nothing for it but your vehicle. And the moment your vehicle goes into tension, as in your armor comes on or you start to close, that is a no. That is for us to actually check in and go, hang on a second, am I saying yes here to please another person? Am I doing this thing because it's what I think I should do? Am I going to participate in this activity or spend time with this person because it'll make them happy? And if that's the case and your body is saying no, then we need to make a different decision. We're not here to please everyone, and you're not going to make everyone happy. Your job and my job is to look after this so we can stay in flow, and then you share that message to other people. Be okay with saying no. Be okay with redirecting how you go about your day, the people you see, the things you do, and the actions you choose to engage in, because that is all going to play a role in how you feel in your autonomic nervous system, and of course how you talk to yourself. If the body is constantly in resistance or tension, your thoughts and your energy or emotions are going to match the same. We create by feeling, not by thought. And if our bodies are in tension, our thoughts are going to be tense and rigid and stuck. resembling that of judgment and criticism, fear, doubt, worry, which means that we're then spending time and energy giving power to those thoughts, creating more of the same. The moment today you notice your body move into tension, I invite you to ask yourself the question, is it needed or necessary? And is it possible to see if your body can soften into the moment of discomfort and create a new story, one backed with curiosity, acceptance of where we're at, and compassion towards the self, and see if the dialogue then matches the same. This practice is really slow and strong. There's going to be times when you're going to potentially not like it. Most of the time, potentially. But I invite you to come along for the ride and see how your body responds or reacts. They're very different. Response is open, reaction is tense. And see if you can move through this practice today with full awareness of how your vehicle is staying present in this movement practice. This is not a beginner practice. I've got plenty of others on my channel. So you will need 2 blocks because they will help you extend your arms and find space in your body. So straight away, we're going to just come onto a seated position where I am now, and we're just going to check in. So if you'd like, you're welcome to sit on your bolster or a block, but I'm going to invite you to draw your shoulders back, keep your heart and head open, and allow your spine to be long. And what I want you to observe is how you've landed today, to observe if there's tension anywhere in your body. So simply starting with your face. Notice tension around the eyes, the nose, the jaw, the throat. Not changing the breath just yet, just notice what you feel in the body. Can you see if you can start to take the armor off? So let the shoulders and scapular and upper trapezius soften. Allow the pecs to kind of spread apart a little bit and feel the body loosen. Draw long into the spine and notice space between the vertebrae. Let the hips splay open, hands just resting on the knees. And just take a moment to be grateful for showing up today. Your choice to be here is everything. Your choice to give back to your body will not only help yourself feel good about your body and moving through your day, but also that energy will be spilled onto another person. The very first thing that others see about us is our body. They see our facial expressions. The shape of our body, is it open or closed? Is it tense or relaxed? Are we coming from a place of love or coming from a place of fear? So be what you want to see in another person today. If we want to change the world on a big scale, it must start with us. Take an inhale through the nose, feel the belly rise. And exhale through the nose, feel the belly fall. Breathing in through the nose, feel the belly rise. Breathing out through the nose, feel the belly fall. I want you to continue with that, maybe placing a hand on your chest and your belly. And as you breathe, I want you to make sure your chest doesn't move, but think about the breath moving from the belly, in through the rib cage and up to the base of the lungs. And as you exhale, exhaling for 2 counts longer than your inhale. Very, very quickly lowering the blood pressure, the heart rate, the adrenaline, the cortisol. Telling your nervous system, your autonomic nervous system, that you're now safe, you're now here, and your body can relax into this moment. We take 5 breaths here. Take one more inhale through the nose, feel the belly rise for the count of 4. And exhale for the count of 6. Gently opening the eyes, take an inhale, sweep the hands all the way up, and as you exhale, just a gentle twist. Spine staying long here. Inhale, hands come up. And exhale. At any time in your practice, know that you can rest, you can drop into a child's pose as often as you need. There is no need to listen to me. I really invite you to listen to you, because you're the only one that knows how you've landed in your body today. So really honor and look after that through this strong, slow practice. Your next destination will be onto your hands, fingers spread nice and wide. Again, this is not a beginner practice, so we're going to kind of get straight into it. So when you're on your hands and your knees, what we're going to think about, I'll face this way for a moment, is these lateral spinal movements. So you're going to move laterally like you're snaking your spine. So we are kind of drawing the head to the right, the hips to the left, and I'm working in this like snake-like pattern here. So what we're trying to do is find this movement not only within the spine, but we're massaging those internal organs here, compressing the side of the belly, and then opening up the other side as you move through these beautiful movements. Our next destination will be a barrel roll. So we press up into cat position. Hips go to the left, head goes to the right. Bend the elbows, come through cow. Hips go to the right, head to the left, up and over into a big cat position. And we slowly go again. What I'm looking for here is this really nice spinal movement. Big protraction as you push away, and then rotate and round through. Bend your elbows as much as you like. Change direction. So the cues will be a bit minimal in this practice today, and we are really focusing on the transitions. So super, super slow through the transitions today. And now just moving your body any way you like for this next minute and a half. So exploring things like tucking your toes, maybe it's a child's pose or a lazy up dog, doesn't matter. So allowing these next few moments to be your own, to really explore and tune into what feels good. There's no right or wrong here as to what you would like to do. And eventually we're gonna, if you feel ready, find your way back to a child's pose, sending your hips back over your heels, letting your head rest for 5 breaths, a reminder that this is always here for you. Breathe in, feel the body rise. Breathe out, feel the body soften, and take that 4 more rounds. There's an old saying that what we resist persists. So today as you move through your day, I invite you to tune into the things where we feel we're pushing shit uphill. We've all seen that image with the human underneath the boulder and trying to push it up the hill. I invite you today to visualize and imagine what it'd be like to let that go. To potentially understand that the universe has something better for us in store. Slowly push into the hands, come all the way up into a downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, hips lift. And eventually finding a mobile down dog. So bending the knees, exploring maybe onto one hand, and just sort of creeping this down dog around. You might even pick up an ankle and roll the ankle, creating some movement into the feet, toes, fingers, wrists, just explore. Take 5 more breaths here. Maybe you've landed into stillness. Maybe you're still mooching around this space. See how this downward facing dog feels for you this morning. You'll see my knees are a bit bent. My hamstrings are a little bit tight this morning. So hence why it might be a really nice space and option to place your hands on 2 blocks. And that will then elongate through my arms and allow my hamstrings to have a bit more space. So from our downward facing dog, whether you're on your blocks or not, we're going to inhale. We want to lift up through the pubic bone, round through the spine, slowly hollowing out the body. Take your time, shoulders stacked over wrists, and find your way to a high plank. So bringing the bum to about shoulder height, so no higher. We don't want to pitch a tent here. Pull the belly button in and up towards the backbone, and visualize you have a stick under your sternum, pushing it up here. Legs are squeezed and strong. From here, lift up the hips and slowly come back to a down dog. Bring your feet wide at the back of your mat and walk your hands back to your version of a squat. When you come into your version of squat, move it around a little bit here. So what you're trying to do is just create a little bit of movement in your squat. So just like slowly moving side to side. As you do this, feel free to just make it your own, again, opening up into the hips. Now from here, we're finding our way back to a down dog. And again, we're just exploring 2 more of these. So moving so slow, walking those hands out, getting those wrists nice and warm. Finding a down dog over 3 breaths. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank. And we hold here. Now you're welcome to bring the right knee to the nose if you'd like a little bit more spice. From here, ripple up and back, downward dog, bring the feet wide, and walk back to a squat in time. And again, a little bit of movement here. We really want to try to squat for about 5 minutes a day, so wherever we can get our squat practice in, highly recommend it. And one more time through this sequence, so lifting up, explore the hip hinge. Take your time, walk your hands out. How slow can you do this? Getting into those wrists, using compression, hands on the blocks, pause here. 3 breaths, inhale, ripple forward, hollow out. Maybe you bring the left knee to your nose and we hold here. From here, slow journey back to downward facing dog. Take your time. I know this is ridiculously slow, but stay with me. Walk your hands back to your feet and find a squat here. Nice work, guys. All right, from this position, again, what we're going to do is fold forward. And this time, we're going to do a little bit of compression work. Just give it a go. Don't overthink this too much. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. What we're going to think about doing is we're going to bear crawl forward. We're going to do this a few times today using compression. What I'm going to do is right at the back of your mat, what we're going to think about doing is bringing the foot towards the wrist. So bring one hand forward. I've got my right hand forward and I'm lifting my left toes towards my left wrist. Left hand goes forward, right toes towards right wrist. So really slow bear crawl. Right hand forward, left toes towards left wrist. Left hand forward, right toes to right wrist. And just making your way all the way forward to the top of your mat. Your blocks are there, just move them. And eventually we find a forward fold, Uttanasana, at the top of your mat. Shake it out a little bit. Soften your knees, breathe in. Find a halfway lift. Hands on blocks is really helpful. Breathe out and fold forward. Chin to chest, belly to spine. Super slowly we ripple up to stand, and take your time as you do this. Coming all the way up to your version of stand. When you arrive in a standing position, take a few moments here just to pause. Again, if you can be aware of how this vehicle is responding or reacting in any given moment, then you have the ability to stay present with your day. It doesn't mean you're going to like everything that unfolds, but you do have a choice to stay present and to sit in the discomfort rather than run or numb from it or move into tension or resistance. The choice is up to us. Push down through those heels, inhale, sweep those hands all the way up, coming into our sun salutations, nice and simple but slow. Exhale, bending the knees and folding forward. Now, blocks are there if you like. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, keep your wrists stacked above your shoulders and pause. So listen up here, you're going to step the right foot to the back of the mat, and so we're moving so slow. Hover the left knee into your nose, hold here, tiger curl. Step left foot to back of mat. Now we have a push up here. You're welcome to drop to your knees, keep the tailbone tucked under like a sad dog, or up on your toes, bending the elbows, coming down halfway for a push up. Knees very welcome here, try not to lose it through the spine, press back up, high plank. From here, send those knees wide, keep the toes tucked if you can, keep the hands on the blocks. And again, you're welcome just to come up to a down dog or lift up those hips, bend the elbows, duck dive through, and inhale into a cobra or an upward facing dog. Bring the sternum forward and then tuck the chin, lift up the hips, downward facing dog. Really nice, guys. All right, we're actually going to think about stepping or jumping the feet outside the hands. So you're going to bend the knees a lot, and we'll step the first one. Step your right foot and then your left foot outside the hands. From here we come to a mid squat, so bum at knee height, and we're tucking the tailbone under, and we're going to hold here. So it's a very active squat. Think about your sternum and pubic bone drawing together here. We are going to spinal wave up to stand. Tuck your tailbone, ripple up your spine. Breathe in, lifting up. Breathe out, keep the feet wide, folding forward. Again, your blocks are there if you like. Feel free to use it. Inhale to a halfway lift. This time, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Pause, keep shoulders over wrist, and just float that right foot off, coming into a tiger curl. Step the right foot to the back of the mat. We land in a high plank. Come down for your press up, nice and slow, knees or toes. Press back up, high plank, protract, push the blocks away. Knees go wide, send the hips back, pause. Well done. From here, inhale, start to lift up, bend the elbows, tuck the chin, sweep the spine through, cobra or upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Well done. All right, we have 2 more of those this morning, or you're always welcome to skip it. Now, you're welcome to continue using the blocks, or if not, feel free to move them out the way if you're starting to feel a bit warm. From your downward facing dog, bend those knees a lot, jump or step your feet outside your hands. Landing your mid squat weight through the heels, pause here. Your next inhale, tuck your tailbone, roll up your spine, big spinal wave. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, folding forward. Optional crow pose straight away this morning if you want. From here, feel free to either bring the knee to the nose, or maybe you take one leg or two. It is a crow pose. Either you step or find your way to a push up, push back up, knees go wide. Your next inhale sweeps you through cobra or up dog, waving through the spine. No need to rush. Down dog. One more round here or skip it. When you feel ready, bend your knees. Jump or step your feet outside your hands. Pause in mid squat. Tuck tailbone, spinal wave, final round. Breathe in to open. Breathe out to fold. Again, one more crow pose if you like, or skip it completely. Take an inhale, and then your journey through that sequence. So either taking crow, maybe it's a tiger curl. Again, from your crow, you don't have to jump back. You can just place the feet down, step back to high plank. So we want to really protect the lower back. Move through your push-up, knees or toes. Should be getting relatively warm by this point. Send the hips back. Your inhale sweeps the chest through, spinal wave or ripple. Cobra or up dog as you inhale, sternum forward. Down dog as you exhale. You've got a choice here to drop your knees in a child's pose if you wish, and rest. All right, we are going to move straight into our little flow. Now I'm going to encourage again blocks under the hands. This will help you with compression and stepping the legs forward, creating space. We're really trying to hollow out in this practice and take our time. From your downward facing dog, right, from here, have a think about jumping the feet between the hands this time. Bend those knees, jump or step, feet between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. From here, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sinking the bum down, weight through the heels. Now you're going to think about tucking your tailbone here today. So think about bringing the sternum and pubic bone together. From here, can you hover your left foot off the floor? And all we're going to do is stand up, and we're going to move our left hip around the joint. So I don't want you to watch what I'm doing. I want you to intuitively stand on your right foot, and you're moving your left hip any way you like. Your hands are really loose here. So we have this beautiful free flow of the body. Your body is just listening and responding. It's really like seaweed in the ocean. There's a beautiful softness here as you're strengthening your right glute and quad and ankle and all of the muscles in your feet, whilst letting that left hip float and be fluid around the joint. Slowly bring the left knee up to stand, feeling a little bit of cooking maybe in that right quad. Open the left hip out to the side. Bend your right knee a lot. Now your blocks are there. Bend the right knee, bend the right knee. Send the left foot slowly to the back of the mat. And we're going to come into a low lunge, potentially putting your left knee on the ground or not. Now I'm going to invite you to move this around a little bit, so be curious here. So you might travel this to the side and find a side lunge, right? You might just drop the knee down and find like a hip opening here. I don't mind. I'm really asking you to be intuitive to what your body is calling for. You might find a hamstring stretch here. Whatever you're doing, you've got 5 breaths. This is a really nice part of the practice, so really enjoy it. Eventually, we're going to come back to our lunge. Your right ankle is underneath your right knee like this. And what we're going to do is, using the blocks, inhale, draw the sternum forward. Exhale, push into the blocks, and we hold here, finding a version of pyramid. So the blocks will help you here. Please soften your right knee as much as you need and let your chest fall onto your right thigh. 3 breaths. Now push into the blocks, ripple the spine forward, Bend your right knee a lot here. We're coming to set up a balancing lunge here, but your back leg now is straight and locked. Pushing down through that right heel, hands are on the blocks, and pull your chest off the thigh. Coming onto your fingertips here, and we now find arrowhead. Palms face down, spine is long, back quadriceps squeeze, pull femur bone into hip socket. Push down through your right heel, and then slowly bend your left knee, and we come to a double bent lunge. And therefore the tailbone is tucked under. So lengthening through the lower back here. If you need to shorten your lunge, please do so. This is quite strong. Continue to push down through the right heel. Inhale, draw those hands up. Exhale, draw elbows out to the side. Well done. From here, inhale, draw the hands up. Now we're going to sweep into a goddess pose. So allow yourself to slowly keep the feet wide. I'm going to take the back of the room here, but you'll get the idea. And we open up the hips and we come into goddess. So weights down through those heels, toes are nice and light, and bring your arms out to the sides. Breathe. So just notice what this feels like into the legs. Now, next destination, you're going to turn your left toes to the back of the mat. Spin the right toes slightly forward, and we're coming to warrior leg. So left knee bent, right leg straight, and we're coming to a pose called rainbow warrior. The left hand lifts up, right hand goes under, and open the left rib cage. Make sure your left knee is over your left ankle. Squeeze your right quad. Take an inhale. Now we slowly transition to warrior two, front of the mat. So press through the left heel, come down nice and low, slide through a side lunge. Turn the left toes forward slightly, right toes open to the front of the mat. Right knee tracks over right ankle. Squeeze and straighten your back leg, coming into warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. So really finding strength here in your warrior. Your right toes are spread and splayed. Push down through that right heel. Inhale, flip the front palm and reverse. And we slowly cartwheel down to the ground and pause here. We tend to rush this so much, so we're not going to rush it today. Hands on blocks, lean forward, shoulders over wrist. Now can you push away so much that your right knee comes to your nose, working your core here. Can you drop the right knee down to the ground and then lift it back up? That's 1. We've got 5. Drop the knee down, bring it back up. That's 2. Keep the shoulders stacked. Drop the knee down. Don't worry, this is really hard for me. 2. Pick it back up. 3. I don't know why I said 5. Drop the knee down. Bring it back up. My goodness. 1 more to go here. Drop the knee down. Send the leg back. High plank. And this time just exhale, chaturanga, knees or toes. Blocks are lovely here. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then we rest in a child's pose for 3 to 5 breaths. Well done. Hands on the blocks, opens the shoulders a little bit. Notice how you feel. Notice how the pace of this class is playing with your thoughts. Are we resisting the pace of this class? And if there is tension here, I invite you to be reminded that this is just a yoga class. Our body is not in danger. We're not being chased by a lion. There is no need for our body to be in tension. Take 1 more breath in and feel how your exhale allows you to yield. Coming up onto the blocks, it's a downward facing dog. Hands on the blocks potentially. You don't have to use them. They're just there if you like. Now, this time when you jump to your hands, I'm going to offer a handstand jump if you like. Maybe the right foot goes forward and the left leg stays straight. We are jumping our feet between our hands. However that is for you, have a play. If you catch it, stick it, face plant, doesn't matter. However you get there, slowly bring your feet between your hands. We find a halfway lift, breathe in, and a fold forward, breathe out. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Weight through those heels. Keep the tailbone tucked for this version today, using compression and using your core. We ground through the left foot. Slowly lift the right off the ground a little bit. Hold here, keep right hip down, slowly stand up. And move your right hip now around the joint. So I'm going to keep my eyes forward and on one spot, but don't watch what I'm doing. Allow your right hip to do its thing. So if your arms are fluid, your body will stay loose through these movements. Check out your hamstrings. Check out the nature of the hip. The hip is a ball and socket joint. It's not designed to sit in chairs all the time. By sitting in chairs, we're training the hip to think it's a hinge joint, and it's not. So no wonder we get so tight through our hips and our hammies. Right? It is a ball and socket. It's meant to move. Well done, guys. Your next destination, come up to stand. Open right hip out to the right. How slowly can you let your right toes chase the back of the mat? As you do, bend the left knee, your blocks are there. And we explore now the space of this like low lunge, dropping right knee down. And we do some exploration into these shapes. So just moving through whatever feels good here for you. You might open the hip out to the side. You might find a side lunge like a Skandasana, which I really love to do from here. Just opening into a relaxed, like more mobility kind of stretch. And then, unfortunately, this bit of goodness is now over. We creep back slowly and we find the lunge, left foot forward. You're going to reach for those blocks to help support you here. Make sure that your left ankle is underneath your left knee. And we want to make sure we're active here. So you're going to push through back heel, squeeze back quad, and lift that belly off the thigh. I know it's nice to rest the belly on the thigh here, but we want to stay active. Now push down through your left heel, splay your left toes. Come light onto those blocks. Strong back leg, arrowheads. Breathe. We just stay. Soften your face. Breathe in. Breathe out. Softly, supporting lower back. Bend your back knee, tuck tailbone under. This is a strong lunge, a double bent lunge. So maintaining this space the best you can. Push through left heel. Inhale, draw hands wide. Exhale, draw the elbows down. Sternum forward. Well done, everyone. Inhale, hands come up. And exhale, turn yourself to the side. Dropping into goddess here. Well done, guys. Woo. So again, in goddess, we're looking to strengthen through adductors. The hips, keep all of this soft. You've got an option if you like to lift your heels off the ground. Softening your face, softening everything here. If you want to challenge, leave those heels off the ground and straighten your legs and squeeze your quads. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Coming back down, leave those heels off the ground if you can. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop those heels, rainbow warrior. Turn your right foot all the way out to the right. So your right toes are facing top of mat. So right knee over right ankle. External hip rotation. Press into blade edge of left foot. So warrior legs, and then we find rainbow warrior. Left hand goes under, right hand opens. Open up the right rib cage. Take an inhale. Exhale slowly, like 3 breaths. We find warrior 2. So sweep down through the center. Turn your right toes slightly forward. Left toes turn and face open towards front of mat. We're in warrior 2 here. Left knee opens, external hip rotation, and find yourself into Virabhadrasana 2. Back leg strong and straight. Pull the femur bone up into the hip socket. Squeeze the quad. Soften. Your left toes are loose and splayed. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel down to the mat. Take your time. Now pause here. Again, this gets so rushed. Stack your joints, hollow out like a big angry cat. Hover the left toes off the ground. Find tiger curl, hold here. We've got 5 of these. Drop the knee down, pull it up and in. That's 1. Down for 2. Down for 3. And for 4. And for 5. Step back, high plank. Exhale, low plank. There's a rest coming. Breathe in, cobra or up dog. Sternum forward, and either finding your knees or a seated position. Cross your legs, child's pose. Pause. I'm just going to stay upright while you guys rest. In the Tao Te Ching, written originally by Lao Tzu, the 81 verses, there's a lot of verses that talk so much about letting go and resistance. And in verse 34, I believe it is in the Tao Te Ching, translated by Alan Cohen in his book, The Tao Made Easy, states this. He says there are two ways to look at resistance. Number one is to simply not do the thing. To notice that our body is saying no and be okay with letting it go. With potentially saying no to another person or a situation we've said yes to in the past. The second way to look at resistance is if we must do the thing, then drop our resistance to it. Make it easier for yourself. Choose to see it differently. Remember that what anyone says or does has nothing to do with us because you don't know the state that they're in. If people are coming at us in a space of anger or judgment or criticism or resentment or righteousness, it means they're hurting too. Our job is to look after our bodies and to take ownership and to understand that what anyone says or does has nothing to do with us and we don't need to take it on board. So if we can drop our resistance to something that we must go to, then your job and your journey through that situation will be a hell of a lot easier. And that's what we're here to do. So we now flow that out just once, really nice and slow. We might add on one or two things. Downward facing dog, hands on blocks if you feel ready. Again, you don't have to use those blocks, they're just there if you would like. Okay, again, your journey towards the top of the mat, maybe you play with a little handstand hop, maybe you don't, but 5 breaths here to explore your way to the top of the mat. Have a little bit of a play with whatever that is to you, eventually letting those feet fall between the hands. And again, however you got there, just let it be what it was. Take an inhale, half lift, and exhale, folding forward. Here we go, Utkatasana chair pose. We're just flowing this out like liquid. From your chair, slowly lift up the left knee with you. Come all the way to stand. Extend the left leg out in front this time. From here, keep the rib cage drawing down. So slowly, step the left foot to the back of the mat. I like to find the blocks here. What we're going to do from here is with the hands on the blocks, finding that low lunge. Inhale, pull the sternum forward. Exhale, send the hips back, pyramid pose. Now inhale, come back forward, straight into arrowhead this time. So you come into arrowhead, palms face down, strong back leg, bend the back knee, double bent lunge. Inhale, lift up the arms. Exhale, elbows go wide. Now this is a really nice transition over 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, rainbow warrior. Sweep down and low. Start to turn your feet. Left toes to back of mat, right toes slightly forward. Rainbow warrior to the back of the mat. Left hand lifts. Breathe in, open the rib cage. Breathe out, sweep backs. 3 breaths to find warrior 2. Right foot faces forward, blade edge of left, left knee over left ankle. Find your warrior 2. From warrior 2, inhale, flip and reverse. Now we're adding on cartwheel down, left wrist under left shoulder, pause. Come onto the left toes. Push away, protract, right hand lift. Stay here. Or you're welcome to slide that right foot back and find your version of side plank, maybe feet stack, maybe leg lifts, wherever you are. Take a full breath in and then so slowly, listen up here, right hand comes down, thread the right leg under, coming into fallen triangle here. right foot out to the right. Take an inhale, lift up the left hand, and then slowly let the bum drop down to the ground. Nice. And we've landed in a wide leg straddle. Take an inhale, exhale to your degree, fold forward. Well done, guys. We're so close. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, this is a really fun transition. From here, we need to open the right shoulder. So open the right shoulder, right hand faces front of mat, external shoulder rotation. Bend the left knee, place left heel on the mat. Now we're going to bring the right leg through. Push into the left heel, right leg comes through. We find our way to a downward facing dog. Well done. Inhale, ripple forwards, high plank. And exhale slowly, low plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, cobra or up dog. Breathe out, down dog. We're going straight to that final round. We're so close, everyone. So last opportunity to have a bit of a play here if that's in your practice. Over 5 breaths, jump, step, float, fly. Your way to top of mats. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Here we go. Chair pose. Breathe in, bum down, tuck tailbone. As you come up, we then slowly move through other side. Lift the right leg up with you. Take your time as you extend the right foot out in front. Squeeze the quad. Pull femur bone into hip socket. Can you keep the legs straight? Bend the left knee. Open out to the side, getting juicy into the hip joints, finding the blocks as you do. Right toes, chase back of mat. Set the lunge. Inhale, drop the groin down, pull the sternum forward. Exhale, send the hips back and take your time as you come into your version of pyramids. Now, inhale, come forward, setting straight up into arrowhead. Back leg stays strong and straight. And we journey to arrowheads here. Bend the back knee, double bent lunge. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, elbows go wide. Inhale, come up, 3 breaths to find rainbow warrior. Use the strength in your legs to slide, get low. Right foot turns open, front of mat. Blade edge of left foot is warrior legs. And we inhale, open right rib cage. 3 breaths to come back to warrior 2. Down and through, take your time, especially through this bit. Take your time, left foot faces forward. Blade edge of right foot, set into your warrior. External hip rotation on the left. Protecting that knee joint, warrior 2, well done. Inhale, flip and reverse, we're so close, guys. Cartwheel down to the, I'm sweating like nothing else. Pause here. Now, you want your right wrist under right shoulder. That's so important, that cue. Now push away and we twist or bring the left foot back or find your version of a side plank. Whatever that is, feet can stack. Make sure your right wrist under right shoulder. Take a breath in. Now, bring your left hand down. Slowly. Bring your left leg through. As you do, left shoulder over left wrist. Finding your way to fallen triangle. Extend here, take an inhale. Exhale, just open up slowly. Extend both legs. Woo, into a wide straddle. Breathe in. Exhale, finding your forward fold to your degree. So whatever that is for you, find space here, whether it's a soft fold or whether it's an active one. I'll leave that in your court. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths here. Spine nice and long if you've taken an active fold. Now from here, we transition, final destination here. Slowly come up. It's really important to open the left shoulder. So in a big circle, place the left hand down on the left side of the mat. Bend the right knee. Now I've got an opening into my left shoulder and I'm going to drive through this right heel. Lift up, sweep the left leg under. Right hand comes down. It's a downward facing dog. Well done. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank. Pause here. From here all the way to the ground over 10 counts. Take your time. Elbows bend in, shifting forward, slowly, 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 and eventually lowering yourself down to the ground. Untuck your toes, turn your head to the side and rest. That's it, guys, the work is done. Take 3 breaths here to just reset. If you want to take longer here, please feel free. Feel free to pause the video and take like a minute or two just to calibrate if you can, if you've got the time. Right, we're just going to come up and do a gentle cobra today. If you would prefer an active back bend, you're welcome, but we've been pretty active the whole class. It's really important to explore the duality of our practice with softness. So just coming into a gentle cobra, slight squeeze of the glutes, pressing the pubic bone down, heart opening here. Just take 5 breaths. Notice how when the heart is open, it feels good. If we just move through our day, dropping expectations and doing things to feel good, not for a goal, not to get somewhere, not to please anyone. But if we move through our day to feel good, then all of the things just happen anyway. It makes life so much easier, our bodies stay in flow, and we have fun along the way. Take 1 more breath. Slowly come down to the ground here. We're simply going to roll over and we come into our twist before Shavasana. I like to use blocks in my twist, so I'm going to invite the block over to the left side of the mat and then placing the right leg on top and peel the sternum open. Both arms open here, sternum to ceiling. Take a few breaths in your spinal twist. Slowly, can you lift the right knee up with you? Come to neutral, pause. Bring the block over to the right side of the mat. Stack left hip on top of right, left leg comes over. 3 to 5 breaths in a twist here. Fully letting go. Notice how your exhale softens you. It's your exhale that is your superpower. It is your exhale that allows you to land into the moment, not your inhale, but your exhale. And it's your exhale that allows your body and your nervous system to relax, to surrender, to yield into whatever moment is unfolding in front of you, unless it's life-threatening. Then you can make a different choice as to how you move forward in that moment. Slowly come back to a neutral position. We land in Shavasana. Of course, again, we'll be here for a couple of minutes, but if you'd like to extend this practice out, please feel free. I want you to roll your shoulders away from the ears, turn the palms up, lengthen your legs, take an inhale through the nose into the belly. And a slow, steady exhale as we just land. Before you fully settle, make sure you spend about 3 or 4 breaths in awe and gratitude for your vehicle and what you just did. Let that move and vibrate into every single cell. And then when you feel ready, just using this final exhale to just really surrender and yield, to move into a soft, effortless breathing pattern and allow the body to become completely heavy. I invite you to place your hands on your body, so hands on your heart, your rib cage, just anywhere. And by doing this, you allow yourself to come home. By actually touching your body in any given moment through your day, you can feel when the body goes into resistance or tension. There are certain somatic experiences that the body does the moment that we shift into that place of resistance. The shoulders elevate, the armor comes on, the jaw tightens, the belly bloats, and the hips close. They are all signs that we have shifted into tension. And if there's no lion or tiger chasing us in that moment, we're not in danger, you can choose to soften and see what you'd like to do with that resistance. Do you say no to that resistance? Is it for you? Are you pushing shit uphill? Or do you simply choose to soften to that resistance, to do the thing and choose to see it another way? How do you make it easier for your vehicle and your body? Take a breath in through the nose, belly rises. And a breath out through the nose, the belly falls. I'm going to invite you, when you feel ready, to make some movements that feel good for you. Stretch, extend, breathe, pause, smile, squeeze, whatever feels good. Bend your knees and just roll to the left in a fetal position on the side. You are gifted this day and you are gifted this body. Make sure you're kind to it today. Talk to yourself as you would a loved one, an animal, your child, your friend. Slowly come up to seated. Take your time, keep your eyes closed. And I invite you to pay attention to three things here. Pay attention to keeping your head up. That means that you can access your prefrontal cortex. When our head's in our phones and our devices, we lose our ability to see. The body closes and we really struggle to be present. So from here, your head is up, you can see, you can witness the thought or the experience and choose again. Your shoulders are back and your heart is open. It is from here and only here that we can experience love. And the more love we feel for ourselves, the more fun we have, the more acceptance we have of who we are, and the more that starts to make a change into the world out there. So remember, if you want to see change out there and less tension, then it must start with ourselves. So your body will always be your biggest teacher. Tune into it, listen to it, and if it's not needed or necessary, come back to softening, yielding, staying open rather than closed, so you can make a better choice, not just for you, but for those around you. Bring your thumbs towards your prefrontal cortex. Take a moment to honor yourself and your body and your choice to show up. So from my heart to yours, namaste. So thank you, and I'm really grateful to have shared that with you. A very slow, challenging, intense practice, but I really hope that you had fun. I wanted to share with you a little journey that I'll be starting soon online, and it's a combination of a movement practice. We'll be learning a skill such as a handstand over a 6-week period. It's not going to be yoga, but it's more a somatic practice of moving the body, getting into the joints, but also starting to understand what our nervous system looks like when we are bumped out of our flow state. So all we're trying to do as humans is to return back to our ventral vagal part of the nervous system. Often we don't live there, but we need to recognize when we've shifted into our spinal sympathetic or our free state, and as soon as we recognize that, we need to do whatever we need to do to bring our bodies back to balance, so that it not only helps our digestion and our body heal, but also so that we can have kind and compassionate and accepting self-talk to ourselves, creating a body and a vehicle that is backed with love. If you're interested in this course, it will be starting probably in about a month or two. Please let me know in the comments. Just give me a thumbs up or a tick or anything, a yes, and I'll pop the course link over on my Instagram in about a week. My Instagram is at @IamMegLinton, so jump on there. You'll see all my courses across on there. I hope you had a beautiful practice. Make sure you give this a bit of a like and subscribe, as it helps me to help you. And thank you for your practice today. Remember to tune into this, be gentle to yourselves, and as always, watch your language.